I was just visiting a school that was built in 1834 here in Tennessee, and I was talking to some historians here in my town, and they were talking about how kids would spread rumors back in the early 1900s, late 1800s. Kids would exclude each other. Kids would talk bad about each other behind their back. Kids would make other kids choose between friends, meaning if you hang out with her, I'm not going to hang out with you. But if you don't hang out with her, then I'll be hanging. That's called bullying today. All these behaviors, these specific negative words and actions have been around since kids have aggregated together in school environments. So I asked some of these historians, I said, what was the solution back in the 1900s? How did they help minimize the victimization that happens as a result of aggression amongst youth? And it was amazing. These historians say the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. Now that is the first point that I want to tell the parents watching. If the golden rule is not known by your children, you're missing the most important social skill ever invented. In fact, it was the first social skill. I've nerded out on the golden rule. In fact, my school program is called Golden Rule School. My multimedia production company is called Golden Rule Multimedia. I'm geeked out about the golden rule because when I realized that in that instruction, it gives us three things. It gives us advice for how we treat people, advice how we treat people when they're mean to us, and advice for adults to know how to punish or discipline people when they break a rule. And I just want to explain it this way. Think about it. Treat others the way you want to be treated. First of all, it's the first social and emotional learning instruction. And if anyone is in education, social and emotional learning is the fastest growing segment in education, just behind Common Core. Now, a lot of people hate Common Core, but when it comes to social and emotional learning, everyone loves social and emotional learning. So it's actually getting more buy-in than Common Core, yet it's growing at the speed of Common Core. It has nothing to do with Common Core, but it is an important factor saying, yes, let's teach kids reading. Yes, let's teach them writing. Let's teach them arithmetic, but let's also teach them how to have successful relationships. It's that fourth R that is always overlooked in academic settings. And the social and emotional learning instruction, the first one ever invented, was the golden rule. Treat others, that's social, how you want to be treated, that's emotional. So that's the first thing I want to say about the golden rule. The second thing I want to say is that it wasn't an instruction to teach us how to be nice to nice people. It was an instruction to teach us how to be nice to mean people. You know, if I asked an audience of parents, I would often say, how many of you need to be taught how to be nice to nice people? How many say that that's super, that's super hard and you need to be taught? No one raises their hand. I say, how many believe it's super easy and you don't need to be taught it at all? And everyone raised their hand. I said, okay, what about this? How many of you agree that it's difficult to be nice to mean people? Everyone raises their hand. I said, that's why the golden rule was invented. We don't need a social skill to teach us how to be nice to nice people. We need to teach us a social skill, teach us how to be nice to mean people. Treat others the way you want to be treated. That instruction is assuming that they're treating you in a way that you don't want to be treated. Social scientists call it the law of reciprocity. When you're nice to someone, they naturally want to be nice to you. And when you're mean to someone, they want to be mean to you. Well, the golden rule isn't reciprocity. The golden rule does not say treat others the way they treat you. That's reciprocity. The golden rule is the opposite of reciprocity. Listen carefully because this is critically important. The golden rule says treat others the way you want to be treated. It's assuming that they're treating you poorly. And so you're to treat them, not the way they're treating you, because they're treating you like a mean person, but to treat them with kindness. And as you treat them with kindness, social scientists say that takes advantage of the laws of reciprocity. And as you're nice to someone, they have a hard time being mean to you. They actually have the natural desire to be nice back. And some of you say, okay, pie in the sky, that sounds like Sunday school. This totally sounds irrelevant. No, I'm telling you. The golden rule is not a religious teaching, although Jesus did make it famous. Aristotle, 400 years before Jesus existed, made a logical proof that if we taught children the golden rule, he didn't call it that, he called it the ethic of reciprocity, but if we taught children to treat others the way they want to be treated, to be nice to those who are nice to them and to be nice to those who are mean to them, if we taught them to be nice to everyone, especially their enemies, then we wouldn't need government. They'd be a self-policing, peaceful society.